Service invoicing refers to the process of generating and submitting invoices for services rendered to buyers on government e-marketplace. In case of non-delivery of products, the deductions mentioned in service level agreement can only be applied by the buyer. In case of non-delivery of service, deductions in SLA can be applied by consignee as well as the service provider. To create a service order, visit gem.gov.in and log in to your government e-marketplace account. Welcome to your homepage. Here, click on Market and then select Services option. From drop-down menu to view a list of all service categories available on the portal. You can also search for a desired service by typing in the keywords here. After searching, select the desired service category. Enter contract start and end date, the billing cycle, and click on Create Order. Before proceeding, verify your details through OTP sent to your registered mobile number. Now, let us take a look at the process of invoicing for service orders as a service provider. Log in to your seller government e-marketplace account and on your homepage. Click on Orders. Here, click on Service-wise tab and select Generate Invoice option to proceed. Click on Upload File to upload e-invoice document. The details mentioned while creating government e-marketplace invoice should match GST tax invoice uploaded here. If the details do not match, the invoice will get rejected. Next, upload the supporting document like log sheet or attendance sheet. Click on Continue. Please note, e-invoice and the supporting documents should not exceed 5 MB. Click on Continue to proceed. Select the billing start and end date. The system will calculate the invoice amount. Once the details are updated, click on Continue. Enter the GST components as per the applicable slab. And then click on Preview. This is the sample of generated invoice. Click on the check box after reviewing terms and conditions. Click on Create to generate invoice. Now, choose the desired medium here for e-verification. This can be done through 3 mediums such as e-sign, digital signature, and OTP verification. In this example, we will choose Verify with OTP. Enter the OTP sent to your Aadhaar-linked mobile number and click on Verify. Now, let us review the process of reviewing and processing an order as a consignee. On your homepage, click on Dashboard and select a desired service order. Once the service is selected, click on Process Order. Review the details carefully and click on Process Service Orders. You will now be able to download a tax invoice and supporting documents uploaded by the service provider. Any deduction with reason can be updated on this page. Click on Submit to save. Please note, the service level agreement deduction can only be up to 10% of the invoice amount. Choose a reason for deduction from drop-down menu. If your reason is not listed, choose Others and provide a brief explanation. Now, validate consignee delivery details. Click on Submit. Now, let's take a look at the process of rejecting an invoice as a consignee. On your homepage, click on Dashboard and select a service order. Click on Process Order. Review invoice details and click on Reject Invoice. Provide relevant reason for rejection before proceeding. Click on Confirm to proceed. All rejected invoices will be listed in the Rejected Invoices section. Now, let us see how a buyer drafts a bill after it has been reviewed by consignee. To draft the final bill, go on your buyer dashboard. Click on Bills and select Process Bills option from drop-down menu. Click here to proceed. Click on Process Bill to select the contract to process as bill. A complete detailed summary is visible here for the selected bills. Any deductions by the buyer need to be updated with an appropriate reason. Once updated, click on Save Draft Bill to forward a bill for processing and payment. This functionality enables all sellers to upload a certificate for tax deducted at source while paying the applicable transaction charges. User is given a grace period of a quarter to upload the TDS certificate for all orders of the previous quarter. If TDS certificate of all the orders of the previous quarter are not uploaded, then seller will be blocked and will not be able to accept the orders in next quarter. Uploading a TDS certificate allows both the buyer and the seller to verify that the required TDS has been correctly deducted and deposited with the government. It ensures that all parties involved are compliant with tax regulations. It helps in demonstrating that the seller has fulfilled their tax obligations. To upload a TDS certificate, visit gem.gov.in and log in to your government e-marketplace account. Welcome to your homepage. Here, click on Dashboard. Then select Upload TDS Certificate option. Select the applicable financial year and quarter from the drop-down menu. All contracts in the selected quarter, for which TDS certificate needs to be uploaded, will be displayed here. Now, select the contracts for which you want to upload the TDS certificate. Click on Upload. Click on Submit to proceed. The system will generate an auto prompt upon successful uploading of TDS certificate. Click on OK to proceed. Once the TDS certificate is uploaded, the status will be reflected here. Click on Uploaded tab to download the uploaded TDS certificate. Government buyers and sellers can leverage the India Post postal service for the delivery of goods procured or sold on the platform. Let's take a look at the process now. Visit gem.gov.in. Click here to login. Enter user ID. CAPTCHA text. And click Submit. Enter your password. And click on Submit to proceed. Once logged in, you will be able to see your homepage. Here, click on My Account to proceed. Now, click on Logistics to proceed. Select India Post from the Logistics Service Provider drop-down. Click here to continue. Registration will be completed with India Post and details will be visible to the users. In case the registration request was not completed, you can reinitiate the registration request by clicking on Re-Verify tab. Now let us see the invoice creation process with India Post as mode of dispatch. To generate an invoice, the seller should first accept the order. Click here to proceed. Click on Generate to create invoice. Select India Post as mode of dispatch. If you select India Post as the mode of dispatch, you will be prompted with a pop-up window where you will be asked to enter the source PIN code and the destination PIN code. Click on Search to find the status of the PIN code and the delivery office information. The delivery office for both source PIN code and destination PIN code will be available to the user. Choose type of delivery as pickup, in case the India Post team members will come to your address to pick up the consignment, or drop, in case you will go to the post office to drop off the consignment. If the type of delivery selected by the seller is pickup, then PIN code in pickup details section is auto-populated based on seller's source PIN code and is not editable. Fill all details and click on Submit to save. Submit to save the booking details and then proceed further to create the invoice. Once you complete the invoice creation process, click on Create Invoice, the booking will also be confirmed with India Post. Now, let us discuss about the India Post dashboard. To track the status of the shipments, the user has been provided with a dashboard. Click on India Post Tracking Dashboard. To check the status of any tracking ID, click on Check Status tabs. A pop-up window will open up showing the current status of the tracking ID. To download the label, click on Print Label tab. A new window will open up where you can view the label and download the same. The cancellation option will be available until India Post does not provide a status for the mentioned tracking ID. Sellers will no longer be able to cancel package delivery once India Post provides status updates. Incident management is a grievance redressal mechanism employed by government e-marketplace to report and respond to deviations that can affect service quality or service operations. It aims to identify and correct problems while maintaining high service standards and minimizing the impact on the business. Incident against contract can be created by buyer or seller or admin or system user. Incident against bid can be created by buyer or admin. Incident against catalog can be created by buyer or seller or admin. A notification is sent to the users via email in case of any update on the incident raised or received. Click here to view the full incident management policy. The different types of deviations are as follows. Mild deviation, related to incomplete or unintentional erroneous submission of information. Serious deviation, impact on the functioning of other stakeholders. Severe deviation, potential to adversely impact the market ecosystem. Grave deviation, affects the reputation or credibility of government e-marketplace platform. The features of incident management are: the incident can be raised by the following buyer, seller or service provider and government e-marketplace admin. Buyer and seller can resolve the incident within 7 days of creation of incident. Government e-marketplace admin can escalate incidents even before the incident escalation due date. This is how the incident management process flows. To raise an incident on government e-marketplace, visit gem.gov.in and click on Login. Enter user ID, CAPTCHA text, and click Submit. Enter your password and click on Submit to proceed. After logging in, click on Need Help and then click on Report an Incident to proceed further. On the homepage, click on Dashboard. This is the seller dashboard for incidents. Here, the seller will find information related to incidents raised by them or against them, pending incidents, incidents escalated, and so on. The incidents can be sorted using the following filters. Raised by me, seller can see all incidents raised by him. Raised against, seller can see all incidents created by buyer or seller or government e-marketplace admin on himself. You will be able to view all the incidents based on their status. If you click on any widget, the listing would be displayed. Click on an incident from the listing to view it. Once the user clicks on any incident from the listing, incident would open in a new tab. Seller can search for a particular incident using the Search Incident option. Now let's look into incident creation for both pre-contract and post-contract deviations. First, we will see an example of raising an incident for pre-contract deviation. Here, we will learn how to report a product. A seller may report a product if the product listing contains false or misleading information, such as incorrect specifications, false claims, or inaccurate pricing. Click here to go to the marketplace. Now, Click on the product in Marketplace. Click on Report this product button to create an incident. Upon clicking on Report this product, a pop-up window will open where the user will be required to select the reason from the drop-down menu. Fill in other details as required. And then click on Submit. Illustrated is a show cause notice sent to seller. Now, we will see how to create incidents for post-contract deviations. Head over to your dashboard. Click here to create a new incident. A pop-up window will appear where seller will be required to update details like contract or order number, invoice number, a brief description of the issue and evidence, if any. Click on Submit to create an incident. Once created, it will reflect in the seller dashboard under Pending Status. Once the incident is raised against the buyer, the system will provide confirmation. Now, let us take a look into the timelines available to buyer to respond to a raised incident. Once an incident is raised against a buyer must respond to it within 7 days. After this period, seller can escalate the incident to Government e-Marketplace admin. A show cause notice is then sent to the buyer. Buyer must respond to the notice within 5 calendar days. If the buyer responds within this time frame, Government e-Marketplace officials, on recommendation, notified buyer HOD or competent authority to resolve deviation or close incident as case may be, post due diligence. However, in case after 5 days of issuing SCN, if buyer fails to respond to SCN sent, system would give a warning message to the user with an additional 5 days time frame to respond to the SCN. Auto action by system in case of no response to SCN after 10 calendar days. Post 10 days from the date of SCN sent, in case the buyer still fails to respond to SCN, then system will take auto action. The competent authority or HOD is notified through email. Now, let us discuss the incident resolution process. Click here to respond to the clarifications provided by the buyer. Click here to escalate the incident to Government e-Marketplace admin if it is not resolved. The admin will act on the incidents as per Government e-Marketplace Incident Management Policy. Please click here to raise request for buyer consent to rectify the deviation. Please click here to accept seller's request to rectify the deviation. This action button only gets available when a request is raised by the seller for rectification. The option to close the incident will be available until the incident is not escalated. It will only be accessible to the party that raised the incident. Only incidents created against orders and bids will have this option available. This option is not available for pre-contract incidents. For incidents created by system, the option to escalate the incident will be available only to buyer. Click here to close your incident, mention the reason for closure and submit. Click here to take a print of the incident. To resolve an issue with buyer, click on Mutual Resolution. This option is available only for incidents raised against a particular bid number or order number. This option is not available for pre-contract incidents. Seller-raised mutual resolution request is captured in the incident responses. The mutual resolution request button is displayed in the buyer incident detail page. Buyer is able to approve or reject the request. The buyer approved or rejected status is captured in the incident responses. Click here to accept or reject. Mutual resolution response from buyer is shown in comment box. System closes the incident if mutual resolution is accepted by buyer. Provision to seller or service provider to rectify the deviation after escalation of incident. As soon as the incident is escalated by buyer to government e-marketplace, a show cause notice would be sent to the seller or service provider. In case deviation still exists, but there is possibility to take corrective action, the seller or service provider may either take corrective action immediately or express his willingness to rectify the deviation in 10 calendar days on IM dashboard itself. This shall be done by the seller or service provider within 5 days of receiving show cause notice. If the buyer does not provide consent to permit 10 calendar days to seller or service provider to rectify the deviation, government e-marketplace shall take action as per the policy. In case buyer responds stating that he would like to give opportunity to the seller or service provider to rectify the deviation in 10 calendar days, he shall provide his consent on IM dashboard within 5 calendar days from the date the seller or service provider made request to rectify the deviation. Once buyer accepts the request of seller or service provider to take corrective action, a window of 10 days for rectifying the deviation is auto-permitted from the date buyer conveys the consent. Government e-marketplace allows sellers who have successfully received orders from buyers to generate an invoice and request for payment for the procured products or services. Key features of invoice creation are: sellers can track the status of their invoices in real time. This provides greater transparency in the payment process. It is integrated with the Goods and Services Tax Network (GSTN) to ensure that all invoices are GST compliant. Sellers can receive payments in multiple ways, including electronic funds transfer. It ensures timely payments to sellers. To generate an invoice, visit gem.gov.in and click on Login. Enter user ID, CAPTCHA text, and click Submit. Enter your password and click on Submit to proceed. Welcome to your homepage. Click here to view all orders. Click here to generate invoice. Here, upload any supporting documents like e-invoice or invoice document or e-way bill if applicable. Click here to preview the uploaded document. Enter relevant invoice details like tax invoice number, seller tax invoice date, billing address, date of dispatch, mode of dispatch, etc. Click on Continue to proceed. Click here to view order details. You can also update details here if required. Click on Preview to continue. If all details are correct, check the box to agree to the declaration. And click on Create to continue. Click on Proceed to verify your credentials. Select the verification method. Here, we have selected OTP verification. Enter the OTP sent to your registered mobile number and email ID. And click on Verify. System will generate a success prompt. Click on OK to proceed. Click here to upload document for proof of delivery. Invoice creation is the process by which sellers, who have been successfully awarded orders, generate invoices to request payment for the provided goods or services. Key features of invoice creation are: invoices are generated by sellers for orders placed by buyers on government e-marketplace. Sellers can track the status of their invoices in real time. This functionality provides transparency in the payment process. It is integrated with the Goods and Services Tax Network (GSTN) to ensure that all invoices are GST compliant. To generate an invoice, visit gem.gov.in and log in to your seller account. Welcome to your homepage. Here, click on Orders. On the Order Details page, click on Generate Invoice to create an invoice. On the Order Summary page, seller will be required to upload supporting e-invoice document and the eBay bill. Once uploaded, click on Continue to proceed. Enter invoice details such as tax invoice number, tax invoice date, billing address, date of dispatch, mode of dispatch, and so on. Click on Continue to proceed further. Click here to view a summary of your order. Enter product details and click on Preview. Check the box to agree to the government e-marketplace terms and conditions. Click on Create. Invoice has been generated successfully. Supplementary invoice functionality allows sellers to create an additional invoice against the quantity rejected by consignee. Eligibility criteria for creation of supplementary invoice. Applicable only for products. Can be created only if seller has accepted and created an invoice for that order. Can be created if consignee has generated the PRC or CRAC with some specified rejected quantity. Not applicable for auto PRC or auto CRAC cases. All supplementary invoices will be treated as a new invoice. Sellers can declare the reshipment only once in the invoice. Seller should have an option to generate multiple invoices for the declared shipment. Let's look at the process of generating a supplementary invoice in case the consignee rejects the quantity during provisional receipt certificate generation. Consignee can view the contract details under the Consignee View tab on Product Orders page on their dashboard. To view consignment details, click on Process Order. Click here to generate Provisional Receipt Certificate. Once the certificate is processed, The system will generate a success prompt. If consignee specifies the quantity at the time of certificate generation, seller will get the option to create a supplementary or replacement invoice on the order details page. Click on Orders to go to the Orders page. Here, click on Shipment-wise tab. Click here to create a supplementary invoice. If consignee rejects quantity at the time of consignee receipt and acceptance certificate generation, seller will get the following options to create a supplementary invoice for the rejected quantity. Rectification at consignee end. Rectification at seller end. Replacement at seller end. All the above option will be available to the seller within the delivery period of the contract or order. Click here to generate a supplementary invoice against the rejected invoice. Select the supplementary invoice type from the drop-down menu. Specify the rejected quantity and mention the reason for rejection. Click on Submit to proceed. A success message will appear upon generation of supplementary invoice. Click on OK to proceed. A reference of the previously generated invoice is available in the details of the supplementary invoice generated.